You're watching a Nighthawk Network presentation.
What's good, y'all? E-Buck in the building. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Guru Sports Session. It's been a minute. We missed y'all, but we are back talking sports as we do every Wednesday. Of course, we named this show the Guru Sports Session because I do it with the man they call the Sports Guru. At least that's what I named him, and that's what all y'all call him now, too. But I also know him as my good bro, Hugh Lee. What's going on, Hugh?
Hey, what's up, man? A lot of stuff been happening over the weekend, man. A lot of good
Man,
stuff.
we can't even hold the people up, y'all. Let's get into it. The floor is
Well,
yours, sir.
congratulating, the U.S. men hockey team, man, the Olympic team. The women
Hold
also
on,
did.
hold on. We got to give it up to them, dog. Come on now. Right on.
The women also did phenomenal themselves, man. But it was just more of a historic feat, and we had to give flowers to the men because the women already dominated and was doing well. But 46 years in the making, man. I remember the movies and stuff they had, the Miracle on Ice and different things of that nature against the Soviet Union. At the time, Soviet Union was basically a foe, really. It wasn't really no allies then. So I think that made it a little more sweeter. Then, you had in Canada and US, man, they always say Canada has the best ice hockey players, man, and that's give or take for the most part they do. And this was just a battle for, respect, man, or who's the best and who's the top or the creme de la creme. And to see that game, man, because when I got up and seen it was 1-0, I said, okay, let me chill and let me check it out for now. And it went into overtime. And James Hughes was definitely the folk hero right now, man. That's going to be for so many years to make it, man, because 46 years and now this just happened. Yeah, man, that's going to be legends of what myths are made of. So yeah, this was really happy to see that 2-1 victory for them, man, because Canada is Canada. Like you said, man, they got the great players and the talent over there, but I think we needed this more than Canada needed it at this point, man. A little redemption, if you may.
I could not disagree with you more with some of it. With some of it. Let me explain. First of all, let us not belittle what the women have accomplished with the hockey. Remember, 4 years ago, they did not win the gold medal. The Canadians did. And it was a
Mhm.
big deal at the time because they pretty much dominated the tournament up until that point. But when it came out of that final game, Canada had just a little bit more in the tank and they defeated the women and it was a hard loss. So it was definitely redemption on the women's side. Now back to the men and back to the games in general. I had to think about this, Hugh. These last few Olympics, mind you, they not really representative of what's really good.
A lot of people ain't been in the Olympics as of late. They dropping
And
out.
particularly the
Soviet Union.
Russians. Did anybody even notice that the Russians weren't really even in the Olympics? Now, granted,
Definitely
some
not.
of the teams that are from that area, the Czechs and those people were there, but it's different than the Russians being there. Russians, of course, were not allowed in the Olympics because of what's going on with the whole Russian and oh man, don't do this to me. The war they are in, the war that they started, okay? It's their fault they're not there.
Yeah,
Let's
with
put it that way.
Ukraine. Yeah.
And then remember also, we can go back over the years. Some years we wasn't there. Remember, we boycotted Montreal because the Russians were there. Then it was the year that the Russians wasn't there in Atlanta because they boycotted us, and so on and so forth. So when you look at all these sports for the winter sports, it's kind of with a small asterisk because of that. Okay, secondly, this is a big deal, y'all. 46 years is a long period of time, even in Olympic years. That's 11 games that went past since then, and we did not win the big one. Okay, so the fact that we did is to be commended. What I didn't like, Hugh, is how we won it. Let me explain that. The way it's set up is you play the regular game, right? If we tied up at regulation, we go to overtime, which I had no problem with. The problem is that overtime is automatically 3-on-3. That's the part I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this being the gold medal game, I think they deserve to go a full overtime with the full complement of players first. And then after the first overtime, if we don't get anything popping, then we go to the 3-on-3. Not only would I prefer them to do it that way, I prefer the NHL to do it that way as opposed to the damn shootout thing. I'm not really for the shootout. I prefer them to do the 5-on-5 for the overtime, and then if at the overtime ain't nobody scored, then go to the 3-on-3. I think that would make for a better overall game, and I think that'd be a more exciting conclusion. But because it was 3-on-3, the Canadians kind of crying about that, even though they won a 3-on-3 overtime to get to the gold medal game.
And that's
But
funny
yeah,
too. Go ahead, finish up. My bad.
but no, that being said, like I said, I am proud of my country and what they accomplished, both the men and the women. But yeah, I just kind of wish they make that slight adjustment.
I was just about to say that they need to vote and try to get that tweaked, man, because a serious game like that kind of puts you in the mind of the NFL when in overtime, even if you score the field goal, you win and the other person didn't get a chance.
Yeah,
So they have to tweak it because it wasn't right. So
it
now,
was.
yeah, I think that they definitely need to tweak that rule in the Olympics, and not only Olympics in the NHL, man, to make it more exciting, man, because you already got people in like a large fan base, but I think that'll bring more exciting to the game too, because if a person score, you get the other team a chance, or give them that opportunity to make it to the point where it's more competition because one and done, I don't really like that as well when it comes to overtime, and they need to definitely do better by that.
Right. And hell, and again, if we work out to where the 3-on-3 don't do it, still don't go to the shootout. Take a player out, make it 2-on-2, and keep doing that till you get a conclusion. I think that'll be very much better, especially if we come down to 1-on-1 and the goalie. Man, wouldn't that be crazy to watch?
Yeah, I definitely think that'd be pretty cool to check out. I want to talk about a couple more things too, man. And you already know, man, this was dear to me. And I was definitely excited about this one, man. I'd like to give congratulations, give a shout out to Dawn Staley, man, for her 501 wins she had, man. Hit
Hold
them
on, man.
horns up in there, E.
Hold on now. Hold on.
Well deserved. She got a lot of work to do if she's trying to be the creme de la creme, which I don't think that's gonna happen. E. Let's be honest, man. You got like what was it? Let me try to remember this. 1,278 wins and 12 championships. That ain't gonna be duplicated.
I need y'all to really understand what we're looking at with this, okay? Understand. When Coach Gino was not the coach of UConn, I was going into high school, and that dude was starting school, period. That's how long he has been the coach of UConn, okay? 40 years. 39 of them winning records. 39 consecutive years of winning record. That in of itself is a record. Now, Dawn has won 500, a great accomplishment. Dawn is in like her early 50s, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Gino is in his mid 70s, or close to it. I can see him doing maybe another year or two and calling it a day. So let's just say, based on what we done seen, he ends up with about 1,300. In order to get there, do you understand that this man in a 32 to 36 game college season has won on average in the last 15 years 95% of the games he has coached? Do you understand how crazy that is? That means in a 34 game season, he done won at least 30 of those games more times than not.
Average
30 games. Okay, look at some of the better coaches in the country right now. Your Tom Izzo's, your Dawn Staley's. Okay, great records up there. 800 for Izzo, 500 now for Dawn. In order for Dawn to get there, she's going to have to win at least 30 games for the next 30 years.
I don't see that happening. I don't think she's gonna be coaching that long.
That'll put her at about 80 something. Okay. That's a record. Ain't nobody. That's like Cy Young and the 500 plus. That's like Nolan Ryan and his 5,000 something strikeouts. That's like Pete Rose and the 4,000 something. It's not happening.
That's gonna happen. Never.
Nobody's touching that, men or women. Period.
Do you think she's even gonna get close to my homegirl Pat Summitt record?
Could she get around 900 and some change? I could see it. The thing is, I don't think it's going to happen. The reason being is because I think in the end, she's going to go on to that next level.
The NBA? Or
remember,
the WNBA?
At some point, Philadelphia is getting a WNBA squad. It's going to be a big push to get her to coach that squad in her hometown. She's going to have a hard time turning that down. Okay? Because as much as she loves women's basketball, she loves her hometown of Philly even more. So I think when that happens, she will leave South Carolina and take that job. Not to mention, if there's any person in the NBA from women's coaching ranks that could eventually coach in the NBA, it would be Dawn Staley. Remember, according to the reports, she almost got that New York Knicks job.
Yep, absolutely. She was in the running. It was neck and neck, they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Brown's a good coach, but yeah, I definitely feel like just to have her as the coach, man, or just a woman in general, we know Becky Ham should have been the coach, man, but we ain't even going to get it.
You'll see her coaching the NBA at some point.
I still can see that myself, I'm just surprised that that hasn't been the case yet, but yeah, it's going to be some women who's going to be coaches, head coaches in the NBA soon.
I could definitely see that happen.
Like a year or two.
Right, they already working in the front office. Shout out to Swing Cash. So, yeah, why not?
Who do you think right now in the women's division who can have a fighter's chance in hell right now to take out UConn? And I got the three teams up here. Number 2, UCLA. Number 3, South Carolina. Or number 4, Texas. Which one?
All right, here's the thing. Because we are talking about a situation where the tournament is one and done, single elimination, I think all three of them have a shot for different reasons. Would I throw another team outside of those three in the mix? I got to throw the one in, and that would be Michigan, and you know why I say that.
Yeah.
Michigan, the only team who has pushed them to the limit so far this year. And it would only make sense that in the mind of Michigan, they thinking, okay, if we almost did it, we could do it. Now, here's the thing. The reason why I think UCLA could do it is because they have the one thing that UConn is not prepared enough for, which is a dominant big. And, of course, the probably number 2 pick or maybe the number 3 pick in Sienna Betts, okay? 6'7", can score at the basket, can score in the mid-range. Good defender. They really don't have nobody on that UConn squad that could take her straight up one-on-one. They don't have enough quality bigs to give her issues. That is that. They also have big guards, much like UConn does. So that would be something they would have to contend with as well. They have a pretty good bench over there at UCLA. I would say just as strong as UConn. So they would basically match up very well. Keep in mind, UCLA didn't only lost.
Yeah, I think they're going to be of course they're going to be in the tournament, the number 1 seed too, because speaking of UCLA, they outright clinched the league title right now. So I definitely believe
a very tough Big Ten. That is very impressive. But okay, there's that. LSU.
Mhm.
LSU has multiple people that can score. In order to beat a good UConn team that is very good on defense, you got to have multiple scorers that can do it multiple ways. They don't just have people that post up. They don't just have people that shoot. They got people that can create their own shots. They got multiple people like that on LSU. Plus, they're a good defensive team when properly engaged. So yeah, I think they could give UConn a run for their money in one game. Okay. The fourth team was that Texas. We said
Yes.
Texas has the one player that I feel matches up the best with Sarah Strong. That, of course, would be Madison Booker. They basically kind of similar to a degree in terms of how they can score. Because Madison, she can post up, she can shoot it. The difference would be Sarah Strong is definitely the better defender of the two of them. So I think they kind of negate each other, and then it would basically be the rest of Texas squad against the rest of UConn. All that being said, I will simply say this. If both Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd is on their A game, and one of the others, as somebody famously called the rest of them, if one of the others get off that game to go with them two, there will be no beating of UConn this year. Not at all. So
And they
whether that be
definitely
Ali Zabel, whether that be Ashlyn Shade, whether that be Kiki Arnold, whatever the case may be, if the three of them is on, ain't no team can deal with that.
what if Ice Brady just out of nowhere just come out and just have a
Wouldn't
15
that
to
be
20 point?
crazy?
We've
Hell,
been
what
waiting
if
for that, man.
Carolina Firm finally was like, okay, I'm healthy enough. I'm gonna play these last few games, and I'm gonna play like I did my freshman year. If that happens, UConn is the champion, and they are undefeated in doing so.
I definitely would like to see that. We've been waiting for her to basically step her game up. It's just never materialized, unfortunately.
Like I said, the whole thing with her head and all of that, it just made it to where she couldn't be the player that we thought she was going to be.
Hey, man, how you feel about when Clemson on the female circuit stunned Duke, man? And not only did they stun Duke, but it was like Hannah Cone with the 3-pointer with 3.1 seconds left, snapped the 17-game win streak that Duke had, man, because they were playing really good. And I was like, man, they're like one of the best teams right now in women's college basketball. And I don't think they was really getting their credit. But then I think it got to the point where they start to know that. And most times when you start to know you're good and you start to walk it like you talk it, it was just one of them days, man, where their shots wasn't falling, man. And Clemson took full advantage, man. And I can't even really say that. It was just the game was too close for comfort, and they let Clemson stick. They stuck around, and that shot was just the shot that basically was a shot of all ages. Nobody expected that to be the case where Clemson go in and beat Duke.
I love games like that this time of year because, again, we get near the end of the regular season. Some teams just tired. Some teams already looking ahead. Some teams just saying, okay, tonight we're just going to kind of mail it in. Whatever the case may be, you're going to get more games like this these last couple weeks of the regular season because some teams look at this as, you know what, to do,
Championship.
this is just the game. To us, this is our
Yeah.
Super Bowl. It's time to
Yeah.
get it in. We on TV tonight. We don't never be on TV. Thank you, Duke. We about to show y'all what's really good. And I think that's exactly what happened that night. Like, oh
Supposedly.
yeah, homegirl, we about to be on TV tonight. I'm about to show out on Duke. Watch what I show you. And that's exactly what happened.
Then I have to come with some bad news, man. In the women division, man, number 13, Iowa dominated Michigan, man, and they didn't really let them score whatsoever in that second half, man. I want to know what was the issues in that game, man. It seems like because when I looked at it, Olivia Olson did her job, but I just didn't really feel like everybody else did what they needed to do to help them. But
It's
I have to
the
give
same
credit to Iowa
problem
too.
that Michigan has in the majority of their games. They
They
get
get
to
behind.
parts of the game where they get very streaky with the
Yeah.
score. Their defense is always there. It's not quite as good as a UConn or LSU defense, but it's good defense. But when their shooters get streaky, particularly Swords and the other kid that comes off the bench, I can't think of her name at the moment, that's when they tend to mess up. Michigan was in that game till they wasn't. Then you
Because we
look
seen
up and they was getting blew out. Keep in mind, Iowa, good defensive team. They got a couple scores. They are not the Iowa team from a couple years ago by any stretch, but
You
still
know,
better than more of the teams in the country.
what's crazy too is the fact that, like you said, we seen Michigan play before. And we get so frustrated because they get sloppy. They shoot crazy shots like threes when it's
Yeah.
unnecessary. And yeah, man, I think that that lets me know they're still a younger team, man, and they need to fix that, man, especially going into the tournament. But
And definitely, I hope next year they got a couple ball handlers coming in to Michigan because
some
that's
true
part of
ball
what they are
handlers.
missing.
Yeah, they
That,
need some
that's
true ball
that's how you
handlers.
kind of eventually got them in that game because they ball handling wasn't where it needed to be late in the game.
And that's when them turnovers came in at E. Number 5, Vandy, with your girl, Michaela Briggs, man. They held on to a game where I thought at first they was gonna lose that game, man. Number 16, Kentucky, man. That was a really good game too. I sat up and I just watched some of the college hoops, man, men and women, and I had a field day, man. I know you was getting tired of me texting you and talking to you about some of them games, but
No, I'm always happy that you take interest in sports that's not football. I was
it is
good with it.
so rare, but it's been so good this year, man, that I can't help but to be excited.
Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of good games you're gonna see these next couple weeks, even before we get to the conference tournaments at the end of next week. Because, like I
Mhm.
said, these last few games, some people, like I said, it's the mentality of the teams right now. Some teams know they right on that bubble. They got to get that big win in order for them to be in consideration for the tournament. Some other teams looking at it like, okay, we might not get into the tournament, but remember, Hugh, not only do they have the NCAA tournament, but they also have the tournament, which they've been having the last couple of years, where the teams that didn't quite make the tournament end up getting in this tournament. And unlike the NCAA tournament, the tournament is for, I
Is that
believe, it's $1
the
million.
non-invite, the NIT one?
No, this is something separate from NIT.
Oh yeah.
This is
Oh
the
really?
tournament. They've been having this the last couple of years. Y'all can look
Mhm.
it on up online there. But yeah, the winner gets that hot meal. Remember, I think a couple years ago, Michigan was in that
Yeah, I
tournament.
remember that one. I remember that
Hmm.
one.
And I believe they won that boy, if I remember correctly.
They actually did.
So yeah, so there's that consideration as well. It's time to
I'm
step
about,
your game up.
I'm about to rattle your feathers with this one, E. You're gonna be frustrated, man, and I know why. And I'm gonna let you take the floor with this one. Charles Bideko, once again, has been denied from the court, an Alabama judge saying that's it for him. No more him being in college basketball. Please make this make sense to me, E. You just had him in there for about 2 games. At first, we were saying that okay, I'm surprised they're letting guys come from like the G League to go in to play in go back to college and play. They let 2 guys come back to play who was playing technically professional basketball, and then basically now Charles Bideko wanted to go back. You let him play 2 games, and then you say that's it. You snatch that opportunity away from him, and then you deny him once again. Man, this is getting nasty, man. What the hell is going on?
NIL and transfer portal is the best and worst things that happen to college sports. Add that to the biggest problem of them all, the fact that sports betting became legal in these United States. These 3 things have led us to this path, okay? Not only do we have this issue with people being in pro leagues here in the United States and suddenly still having eligibility in college, but now we taking professionals from Europe and saying, okay, well, you still only 18 or 19, even though you've been a pro since 14 and they made money. Come on over here and play. You eligible for all 4 of your years. Shout out to Blanca Quinones, somebody I forgot to mention earlier. Yeah, if she get on her game, it's a wrap. You kind of running through that bitch. But anyway, look, at some point, like it or not, the 9, you know what 9 I'm talking about, the Supreme Court, they're going to have to get involved in this thing because it's
Okay.
just ridiculous now. And I hate that they got to be involved in sports to that degree, but I think that's the only way we finally resolve this all once and for all.
They taking a period away from the game, man. It's getting ridiculous. Something has to get done. And I remember Pat McAfee when they first started doing the NIL, before they really started getting into it. He was saying on his show, man, a lot of people are upset because they think it's going to ruin college sports, man. And it seemed like it's damn near there. It's about
It has. It's the truth of the matter. I'm happy for the kids that's getting the money. Like I said, I done been that college kid that was roommates with that college kid that deserved. And they was working their butt off and wasn't getting nothing. But in the same token, the way they doing it ain't set up properly. It should have been a whole bunch of guardrails put in place before we got to this point in time with.
There should have been some type of stipulations and had it a little bit more organized, man.
Absolutely. Because in the end, the real problem, Hugh, is the NCAA is trying to allow all this to go on, but still get their big bag. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to the easiest way to do this thing, you know what it was, Hugh. Get all the TV contracts and stuff situated. Say, okay, here's the money now. We're going to take half of this money, keep it for the NCAA. We're going to take this other half of the money. Half this go to the schools, half this go to the players. Easy.
So what you trying to say, E? Show them the damn books. Get everything organized, split it down the middle.
Right. And whoever greedy behind getting all that extra money we don't know about, take some of that out your pocket. You can still be a millionaire and not be a multimillionaire and still be all right. You don't need that second
yacht. That'd kill them without that second yacht, huh?
You know I gotta have a yacht upgrade every other year.
I want to get into the men's side of things now. Kansas rebound and hand Houston a third straight loss. Now, when I seen this, I said, okay, I wanted to check this game out because I know that Kansas been having a lot of issues. I told you what AJ Devanza said about my man's Darren Peterson. A lot of people have been taking jabs on him because he missed 11 games with hamstring injury, flu-like symptoms, or whatever you want to call it. And people just questioning him and questioning, is this really what he want to do, or is he just basically in it just to wiggle his way out of here and then go to the NBA? It seems like he's going through the motions right now. But in this game, man, he didn't do really too much of anything because the kid Trey White was the one who had the 23 points. And I think Darren Peterson only had like 14 points. And he's not really playing a lot of minutes neither, man. And that's another thing that other people was questioning, AJ Devanza being one of them.
It's like maybe 5 or 6 teams every year. We know they're going to be good. It's just a question of what is the mentality of the overall team. We know they're going to be good because, one, it's that school, and two, they have that coach. Bill Self has been a damn good coach wherever he has been. When he is having full say into what goes on at his school and they buy into his program, that school usually does very well. But then when you start to get these one and done kids and bring them into that locker room to mix with the gel of the kids that's been there for a minute, sometimes it works out very well. And lo and behold, here's Kansas in the national championship game again. And sometimes it's like, well, we're going to be all right, but yeah, we'll be better next year once we get these selfish monk up out of here and replace them with some other folks. I think that's what's going on this year with Kansas. They are a good team. They don't have the greatest team chemistry. And perhaps that young man is part of why. Because especially now in this day and age, think about it. As he sits there, he a millionaire right now already. Millionaires think different. I don't know that for a fact. I would love to find out. But you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. And the funny part about it is too, E-Man, is we always talk about this team. We don't take shots at them for anybody, like your family, because you got family in Kansas. And but what do we say about them in Villanova every year? They could be one of them teams can go all the way, or they could be one and done in a heartbeat.
Another great example, or at least it was the example when Jay Wright was there. It's a little different now at Villanova, but it's again UConn for the men's side. That would be another school. Michigan State, that's another school like that with Izzo. Izzo gonna coach them up. The question is, are they gonna listen, or are they just gonna be there?
Yeah.
That's what's making this particular tournament for the men very interesting this year because there's several teams like that. Who knows what they come up with when that time comes? Because like I said, Michigan State, for example, I believe they ranked 13th right now. but I could very easily see them being in the Final Four. I
Mhm.
can definitely see Kansas in that same boat. It all depends on do they come together at the right time, which is
And
now.
that's what it's about, man. Once you get together and you start clicking at the end of the season and then get into that tournament and be hot, anything's possible. That's what makes it so
Absolutely.
great. It ain't gonna be too many Cinderella teams no more, man. But I definitely would still like to see one or two.
Now that being said, Hugh, would not be surprised if this is a year where we get one or two Cinderellas.
I would like to see that, brother. You know, we be so excited to see that, man.
Right. Would love to see a BYU, for example, make the tournament. Not necessarily a Cinderella per se, but they kind of bought their way into this position.
Because like with my man Shaka Smart with Virginia Commonwealth, man, we never
Right.
understood that and never thought that it'd be in Shaka to
Remember,
get
that's
it.
how we got Gonzaga early on in the first
Yeah.
place, out the blue. The Texas Techs of the world.
With JT Toppin, man, I want to see them guys get off again. I definitely love to see that kid play. He's one of the better kids that people
Right.
not still talking about.
Yeah, me and you've been watching Illinois a lot lately. I can
Yeah.
see them possibly making a nice little run, particularly if my man is on fire as he continues to be.
And the crazy part was we was thinking your boy Page's son was gonna be the one who clowned, man, but he ain't doing this much no more, man. I think that injury had to do with it, but I still feel like, he's just not that guy right now.
But remember, one of the key factors with Illinois in particular, in terms of overall team height, they are the tallest team in the NCAA right
That's
now.
gonna be problems, man. And they're athletic too to play like they do. Cause I think that shooting guard, the guard was like 6'7", 6'8", who doing all that, So yeah, I'm definitely
Right.
interested
I
in
mean,
that.
kind of similar to the situation on the women's side with LSU, with all those tall guards, all those dudes.
Hey man, speaking of your boy AJ DeBansa, man, he played one of his most complete games that last game they played, man, with the 29 and 10 and 9 assists. He's really been doing well to me, and I think right now that he's definitely the number one overall draft pick going into the NBA right now. That's how I'm feeling right now, man.
I agree, and I hate that for him because
you already know where he's gonna go.
my fear is he gonna end up in the one place we can't afford for him to end up in.
Either Washington Wizards or he go. I hope not, man.
I think that would be the best scenario for him to end up with the Wizards because I think that puts the Wizards back on the map at that point. When you consider what's left for Anthony Davis to be there, they'll have a couple other extra picks.
They got
him. They basically at that point look like the beginning of the San Antonio Spurs or OKC Thunder. But no, if he ends up in a Utah or Lord forbid Charlotte, somewhere like that, we ain't gonna know who this brother is.
Charlotte's such a question mark team too, man. They
Very
got
much so.
there.
New Orleans, any of them type of teams.
So much weirdness with those.
Actually,
teams.
another good place for him to end up, Atlanta. I would love that for him.
Man, did you see my boy clowning yesterday? I was so happy for my man Jonathan Kuminga, man. That really made me proud because they wasn't trying to do nothing with him. I don't know what the hell he did to Steve Kerr. He did something for that man just to treat him the way he did.
He was in the doghouse from day one.
It was a breath of fresh air to see that, man. And yeah, man, let's get the skeleton out of the closet, man. And I'm still not upset with this one. It was a good measuring stick. Let's get to it. Number 1 Michigan, they fell to number 3 Duke, man, and it was a really good close one too, man. That final score was 68-63, and we were saying that game right there was a test that they needed, and I think they actually passed that test because it was opportunities there where I still feel like Michigan could have took advantage and won, but it was just now that since they see how to play them, man, I would definitely like to play them dudes again, to be honest with you, because being 0-4 against them, man, it kind of leave a little bitterness and a sting with me right now.
I promise you, Hugh, if Michigan played that game like they played against Minnesota the other day, they would have won that game. It's as simple as that. The shooting was off and the game plan was not set up to succeed. They did not defend Duke well at times. They had turnovers where they normally wouldn't have turnovers, and it cost them. I think if Duke and Michigan, these two versions of them, played 10 times this year, it'd be 5 times Michigan won and 5 times Duke won. That's why I would love to see them meet up again in the tournament, because who knows what would happen that second time around.
Because Cameron Boozer did what Cameron Boozer do, man, the 18, 10, and 17
And
assists.
again, he had a good game, but not a great game. He
But
just
my
was great
man,
when it mattered.
man, Yasser Landenberg, man, he is a monster, man. 21 and 7, and he basically did everything I thought he'd do. But like you said, man, it was just the misfortunes of them not handling the ball, and them
Right.
turnovers cost them.
Definitely needed Mara to have a better game than he did in that Duke game as well. At 7-3, you supposed to score, okay? Ain't
Yeah,
too
come
many
on.
people in the country can guard you straight up one-on-one.
Definitely want him to put a little bit more dog in his game too, as well.
Absolutely. That's part of why UCLA wasn't so hard about him leaving.
And we're gonna talk about the game, that helped Don Stad eclipse the 500 mark. Number 3 South Carolina versus number 17 Ole Miss. I was disappointed in that game because I thought it was gonna be a shootout. Because we know that girl from that school down south, that red team, since you like to call her that, Ohio State. She transferred in the transfer portal. I didn't know where she went, but when she went to Ole Miss, I said, okay, Cody McMahon, that's gonna be a good team for her. And she's dominated the whole time she's been with Ole Miss. But that game, she just didn't do anything, man. She was 0 for 9 with 2 points. Yeah, she had 6 assists, but I thought she can do better than that, man. And something must have happened for them to just sit her all the way out. But yeah, they was getting beat pretty bad. And I just think they was like, man, we'll just save her for another day at this point.
I do believe tournament week either starts the end of next week or the following week in the conferences. That SEC tournament gonna be something special.
Man,
I'm telling
that's
you. That Big Ten tournament also for the women. The Big Ten tournament for the men gonna be pretty good also. I'm definitely looking forward to all three of those.
You know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to get our butts together one day, man. Figure out what we're gonna do. Go to GFS, get them big ass bags of popcorn, man, and just have us a field day and just sit up and watch
Cut
the
them
game.
cheese seasoning on that boy and get busy. Absolutely.
Really good tournament, man. This is like because when I've been talking and been excited just for the last 2 weeks, man, and I was still looking and I was telling you, dang, the tournament's in about a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. I'm
I did
definitely ready and looking forward to it.
I did like that TCU game though, man, to see Olivia Miles. Because remember, I thought they was gonna lose when you down 13 in that fourth quarter, and you bring your team back. Because she was like 12 to 14, and she wasn't looking too good in that first half. She turned around, man, and was 6 for 7, had 15 points, and she really stepped her game up when the team needed her. But then you know why she stepped the game up, and that's what I was disappointed about. And we talked about that. Old girl filed out all the crooks, and she was gassed, man. It was like she can't play a whole game, man. And they needed her at that stretch because with 13 points up, man, if she played and continued to dominate like she had, because she had like 20 points in that game, like 2022. So yeah, if she would have stayed in that game, man, they definitely would have beat
Again, she got tired and gassed, and that led her to get into worse foul trouble and eventually fouling out. I'm
Yeah,
starting to agree with some of the critics now that say that, yeah,
absolutely.
she may actually have to go ahead and lose some of that weight in order
Don't
to
have
be better effective. But that being said, I can't help but wonder what it would have been like if Olivia Miles went with the original path and not came back to TCU, but instead went to the WNBA, where, as we know, the Sparks was ready to draft her with that
to.
number 2 pick, and what that team would have looked like with her on that squad.
We saw that happening too. We knew she was a for sure number 2. So I'm like, damn, why did she go back? Do you think still that she would have that opportunity at number 1? Because I'm still looking at it like she
I
probably be
mean,
number
the
1 or
only
2.
reason I can't see that is because
Lauren Betts.
not even Lauren Betts. Again, the kid that you'll hear more about these next few weeks is this kid, Awa Pham, out of France. They are
Okay.
basically calling her the female Wembanyama
Like
because
they did one chick, the last one who went to
no,
WNBA.
no, this is different, Hugh. This kid can score.
Okay.
Look it up on YouTube. She is a
Okay.
baller. The only reason why that is a factor is because of her, or the fact that the team with the number 1 pick, the Dallas squad, we know who's on that Dallas squad.
Mm-hmm.
We also know who is available at number 1 also, her very good friend, AZ Fudd. So knowing that they definitely want to keep Paige happy, I think they're gonna do what they got to do to keep Paige happy and go ahead and draft her and let Enrique do her thing somewhere else.
Okay, makes sense.
Keep in mind, one of the teams interested in Enrique and Gubawali, by the way, is the Sparks. Think about that for a minute.
Oh, that'd be
You put
great.
her with
And
Olivia
Kelsey,
Miles and then add her with Kelsey Plum. That could be very scary. And then, of course, a healthy Cameron Brink and Rakia Jackson. Not to mention Hamby and
and your
Ray
girl,
Burrell. That could be a nice little squad there.
love me some Ray Burrell when she's healthy. When she's
Yeah,
healthy, she's great. But she's not really healthy as much, man. You know, she
yeah,
gets injured a lot, but that'd be a hell of a team, E, man.
absolutely.
That'd be one of them teams I'd be looking at with championship aspirations, like how
That
we did at
definitely would
first
be scary.
Seattle, you know.
Right. Another team that also has a big interest in drafting Olivia Miles if she's available with their pick, Chicago Sky.
They definitely need
Imagine
him
they
too.
finally get the point guard they need so they can
Yeah.
have people play their natural positions over there. Because,
Yeah.
I did not like Angel Reese as the point forward. I don't think that was a
No,
good move.
that got messy too fast for me,
Just
man.
because she could do it didn't mean that she should be doing it.
Agree. They definitely need to do something about that, E.
Right.
I want to talk about another skeleton in the room, man. The San Antonio Spurs beating my Detroit Pistons, our Detroit Pistons. It was a pretty good physical matchup. But then, like we said, man, those guys just seem like when you cut the head off of the snake on the team, which is Cade Cunningham, and they played a lot of good defense on that brother, and he struggled that night. If he could have at least gave us like a regular performance, like a 30-point game, yeah, that game would have probably been different, man, because Jalen Durham did his job. He didn't give a damn who Victor Wembanyama was. But and everybody else just seemed like they were streaky in that game, man. They definitely need to do better, especially going in tonight, because it ain't going to get any easier for them. You know who the hell we play tonight. We play the reigning defending champ.
No, not so fast, you. We'll get to that in a minute. But first of all, the problem that the Pistons have when they lose, which ain't been often this year, is that usually the games they lose, that 3-point shooting, it ain't hitting that night.
And it
And that's
wasn't hitting.
exactly what happened in that game. That and the fact that Wembanyama is starting to come into his own. And it's scary.
He stepped up in that
Scary
second
because
half.
I was watching that brother play, and I know this ain't even the best he gonna play. He getting better, and you can see where he gonna get even better still.
Yeah.
And he getting bigger.
When he
And I
blocked
swear to God, it seemed like he getting even taller. That's what's really scary.
We was the only team he didn't get a block against neither, so he took that personal.
Yeah, he ain't gonna let that ride. But okay, that being said, charge it to the game. Tonight we got OKC. Fear not, my friends, because the only reason we should be concerned is if we do lose tonight. We should not lose tonight. I'm a 95% guarantee it because SGA not playing. Jalen Williams not playing. The big fella also not playing.
So Chet,
Yeah, all three of them are out tonight.
why?
And we at the crib. We don't win this game, something ain't right.
What's up with that? Why is all three of those guys not in?
Well, SGA been out for a few games now. He got some issues he working on. I think they just basically resting Chet because they played last night, and I don't know what the deal is with Jalen. But we can't beat them with their top three players out with the team we got, and all we missing is beef stew. We don't deserve to be in nobody's playoff.
Yeah, another thing too that
At
I
the
seen
crib, no less.
another big concern is my man's been banged up too, man. James Harden, and I've been hearing he gonna try to play through his thumb fracture, man. So yeah, I want to see how that escalate.
Well, I don't think that's going to be as big an issue as you think because remember, they ain't really bring him there to school. They really brought him there to facilitate and be the decoy.
Pretty much.
And I think he's able to do that in that condition. All you need is a hot 15 and 8 assists out of him. I think you good with that if you Cleveland.
Because I like my man's over there too, Donovan Mitchell. But then, no disrespect to Evan Mobley, because Evan Mobley's been playing pretty decent. But that damn Jared Allen, man, I still told you to this day, what the hell was the Brooklyn Nets was thinking letting that brother go? He's the closest thing to like one of the old school centers, him and Jalen Duren, man. And that dude, man, he's a skinny dude, but he's a monster. He one of my favorite dudes to watch.
He kind of remind me of a combination of Antonio Davis back in, not that Antonio Davis. I'm talking the Antonio Davis from the Indiana Pacers back in the day.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
And a little bit of what now? He kind of remind me a little bit also of Rasheed Wallace in terms of his defense.
He get vicious, dude. I done seen him work on people, man. He's an aggressive dude, man.
Kind of a combination of them.
Yeah. And that's that old school dog, basically, what you telling me.
Oh, yeah. If y'all get bored one night, go back and type in 90s NBA basketball. You probably will find the video that I found, and it basically was like players you forgot about in 90s NBA, and they showed you people like Tom Gugliotta.
That's one of my favorites.
And Nate McMillan. And man, when I say I enjoyed that so very much that night.
I had to Google that because
I went down the whole rabbit. That brought back all my early adult memories, man. That was just awesome.
The Kiki Vanderways.
Yes.
People don't really give credit to. That's why I like your boy Alperen Sengun. He reminds me so much of Gugliotta. That's why.
Or maybe a slightly less athletic Tom Chambers.
Yeah, Tom Chambers is that dude too, man.
Right.
Yeah. Them was the good old days, man.
Yes, sir.
I was watching one of the games on NBA TV.
That's what I was trying to think of. Remember him?
Was a beast, man. I loved him when he was on Seattle with my boy Kemp.
Right. Then right after that, Hugh, you know who I ended up watching?
Who?
The very best of White Chocolate.
Oh, straight up, yeah. White Chocolate, boy. He had
some of them passes to this day. It was like, how the hell did he do that?
Yeah, I was watching that tournament E with Orlando and the Pacers. Remember when the Duncan Dutchman when they beat Orlando?
Nice.
Yeah, when he got the last win. Yeah, that was good ball, man. Because nobody wouldn't shoot 1,000 threes like that. And I'm not saying when it goes in, and it's like it's deadly, lethal.
Mm-hmm.
Not, man, them the most sloppiest, uncomfortable games to watch. Period.
And it's crazy because what actually brought me to that? I was watching All the Smoke. And then, of course, the best thing they did for that podcast would bring in Mad Max. And they had tell some of his stories.
Yeah.
I love when Mad Max tell his stories, man.
Yeah, I know Mad Max would be pissed if he ever heard our show. Because remember when he was talking about how, my man's Elijah Wan slapped the shit out of him, man.
Everybody always asks for that story from Mad Max when he come on their podcast now.
And he was saying
he slapped shit out of me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Did you see that he ended up running into Elijah Wan not so long ago?
Yeah, it's like best thing that happened was he became a Muslim because before that he was slapping the hell out of everybody.
He was saying basically like, man, he told him he didn't want him to say that story no more, man. We passed that. That's what Elijah Wan was telling me.
Remember, like I said, he a Muslim now.
He said that boy looked like he had concrete for hands. He said that slap almost knocked him out.
It felt like he just scraped his hand on the ground and then it felt like sandpaper hitting you in the face.
Yeah, that dude, man. I love that show, man. They one of my favorite podcasts. I follow a lot of the stuff they talk about, man, because they have a lot of interesting guests too.
Yep.
Anything else would you like to talk about, man? Before.
Oh wow, we there? Okay. I do got a few things I want to throw in the mix right quick. First of all, I hate that we at where we at with some of the sports right now. First of all, tennis. Tennis has fell off so bad now. You don't even hardly even see no highlights no more. Remember, tennis pretty much is all year round, depending on where you at in the world. We don't get none of that. It's just like we said a few years ago on the show. When the Williams sisters finally call it a day,
That's when they
tennis will
started.
not be the same. And that's exactly what it is. Golf. Are we going to see Tiger Woods at some point this year? They kind of need him right now. Granted,
They do.
if you're a golf person, you in your golf and they making big money and all that. But for basic person A, we don't think about no damn golf. Now, here's my problem in bringing up those things, Hugh. One of the things we got to talk about right quick. As you know, there is an exhibition that's going to happen this April between one Mike Tyson and, of course, one Floyd Money Mayweather.
Yeah.
And it's going to be well received and watched because right now we don't have a lot of good boxing matches. We
Not at
just
all.
don't. Shout out to Ryan Garcia. He had a pretty decent match the other
That
night.
was a good match.
And
And he called out Shakur. So I'm
Yeah.
looking for that.
And I definitely would like to see him and Shakur get it in. But remember, we grew up in the 80s and 90s, Hugh. Every
Yes, sir.
month it was a good fight somewhere between the welterweights or the heavyweights or the flyweights. Remember that? When they used to show it on CBS and ABC? And it's like, it didn't even matter who was fighting. You knew it was going to get a pretty decent fight, whoever it was. When the last time they had boxing on regular TV?
Not
And
at
when they
all.
did, last time I remember was like a couple years ago on Fox. And that was some of the worst boxing matches I've ever seen. That was awful. The one fight, I swear, was like 3 licks, bop, 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 and it was over. And he knocked him out like this. It wasn't even no solid blow like I could have did that.
He remember though in like the early 2000s it was good fights too. What was that one dude on Prince not seen when he got beat up by Antonio Barrera? And you had what's my man's on Felix Trinidad versus Vargas. It was some good stuff back then
Man.
too. And when Mayweather was actually, fighting dudes and he wasn't
Right,
running.
dudes, right.
Yeah. When him and Ricky Hatton better yet. It was some
Right.
good fights then, man.
In
And,
the early days of Bud Crawford.
yeah,
When you
Cosby
had,
too, and,
pretty much
what-
since I say 2015 on down, boxing has lost its way.
exhausted is
It definitely got worse when the big fella got his butt knocked out. Deontay
yeah.
Wilder. Heavyweight division ain't been the same since.
And then what hurt the division too is when my man's Anthony Joshua was saying that told us like, man, they wanted me to fold this fight, but I said, nah, man, since he was talking all this ish, I wanted to teach him a lesson.
And that's another thing that made boxing bad. The whole exhibition fights of it all.
And that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Them damn calls have messed up boxing to a degree. And I'm sorry, but there's y'all UFC fans, but UFC ain't really hitting like that either right now.
That's your opinion. When it comes to them knocking people out, they knock people out.
Oh, no. It's hitting. Don't get me wrong, it's hitting. It just ain't hitting.
Yeah. And I feel like the reason why just like their other sister or brother product, whatever you want to call it, it's this, man. It's too expensive. I ain't gonna pay no damn $70 to watch no UFC.
No, and here's the problem. Now, of course, after that, Floyd has decided to unretire. And lo and behold, what do we get announced? Money Mayweather versus Pacquiao.
That order.
Fight we wanted to see 20 years ago, not now. Because when they finally did fight years ago, they both was past their prime then. Do we really want to see them now? The answer to some of y'all is going to absolutely be yes. Even though that fight is on Netflix, the way they set Netflix up, you won't be able to stream it to no TV or nothing. You have to buy it off of Netflix. So, yeah, they going to make money. But the reason why I'm sad about it is because you know why these two people fighting. It's not because they got to prove something to each other or themselves. They both at one point had a lot of money, and now not so much. They doing it for the money, Hugh.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, man. It ain't even for the love of the sport anymore, man. And it's getting frustrating.
How you have $200 million fights and still end up to where you need this money?
A lot of own money, man. The lifestyles they live in.
Have we not learned anything from Mike Tyson and what happened to him back in the day?
But he said
he had all that money and lost it all.
He said that's the best thing that happened to him, man. It's not having that much.
And when you hear the whole story behind it, I completely understand why he felt that way. So yeah, okay, let me get that out the way. Another thing, I also, since it is Black History Month, I want to give a shout out to the historical African American women who have won U.S. medals this year in the Olympics. One for speed skating, and one as a member of the women's hockey team. The first African American woman to win a team gold in the Winter Olympics. Definitely a huge accomplishment for both of those people. It's just sad, actually, that here we are in 2026 and we
It's a
still
first.
making Black
Yeah.
history as the first of anything.
Big ups to Kelsey and the Kelsey brothers, Travis and JC, for what they did too, man, to help fund her family, man, and get them there.
Absolutely.
That was huge. You know, them some good brothers. They always been for the cause, and man, they never was the ones to shy away from equality. So yeah, man, them the guys are definitely appreciated.
Right. A couple more things we could call it a day. Okay. One, let us
E,
sleep. Huh?
I got one for you right quick. I just seen.
Okay, go for it.
I don't know how important it is. I don't know if he's gonna be playing this year or not. But Jason Tatum played 5-on-5 scrimmage game with the team. They've been talking about that, and Joe Mazzulla tried to get off the topic, but this is not the only time. It's been like 2-3 games now, man. So I would definitely just go ahead and if I was him, just go ahead and just sit out the rest of the season, and don't overdo it. But do you think there's a chance?
I think we get down to the last 10 games and Boston is in like that top 3 with the chance of maybe moving up one and making a run that way. I think I could see him doing it. If he is not 100% healthy, I mean 100% healthy, I want him to sit his butt down, go hang out with his fine ass wife as she goes on tour this summer, and be a dad, and then come on back to the league and dominate next year.
And enjoy your time off with Deuce.
Exactly. But if you is 100% healthy and you get down in the last 10 or 12 games, I need you to get a few games in before you try to make the playoffs like that. Then yeah, I ain't mad at it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Next topic. One last Olympic topic. Lindsey Vonn. I gotta ask the question: was it worth it?
Hell no, he was wrong.
Remember the story, y'all. Lindsey Vonn, right before the Olympics, got hurt, messed up her ACL. I ain't talking about tweaked it. I'm talking about messed it up to where most people would have that surgery and sit their ass down for 6 to 9 months. She decides, it ain't really that bad. I could work around it because I am an Olympic athlete, and if I manage it right and had a doctors with me and whatnot, I can make it happen. She qualifies, makes the Olympics, gets in the Olympics. First time around, messes up, didn't make it, okay? Didn't learn from that lesson. Had to try it again the next time around. Messes around and gets into a horrific accident. Breaks her leg. Now, that's what we knew of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we found out this week is that not only was that leg broken, but it was broke to the point to where if they hadn't operated on it that day, more than likely she would have lost the leg. And I'm not talking about lose the leg like, okay, where the ACL is on down. I'm talking about the whole damn leg. And not only do we find that out that by the grace of God, she had so happened to have a doctor that could perform that surgery that day with her, but come to find out, she also broke her ankle on her right leg, the good leg. So she is bad off to the point now where they are saying she is going to be wheelchair bound for the near future. We ain't talking no 4 to 6 week thing either.
Probably close to a year.
She's going to relearn how to walk and everything. Was getting you an extra gold medal worth all that?
She got to learn now, man. How old is she? 41, 42 years old?
41.
Yeah, she got to sit down, man. It ain't even.
She ain't got no choice but to sit down now.
Absolutely, man. We thought it was a bad idea when we first heard about it, and now, man, this is
Definitely
just
said that.
a travesty, man. For her to come back and then go through all this, man, it's like you said, man. If she just would have been content and just been satisfied where she was at, man, none of this would have happened, and she can live on to be the legend we already know she is, man. Now we're
Right.
gonna know her more for this than what she did in her successful time.
Right. Couple quick ones, then we'll call it a show. Okay.
Mhm.
One, Hugh. Have you heard that the UFC, not the UFC, the UFA is adopting a new rule this year that says, yeah, y'all can do the field goal. In fact, if you kick a field goal to 60 yards or more, we'll give you 4 points instead of 3. Do you like that rule? And do you think the NFL should adopt that?
Yes, because it's hard. The dudes kick the 60 yarders, man. They've been going in like crazy. But I think
Mm-hmm.
4 points, man. And if you could just close out a game like that, yeah, go ahead, do that, man. We were talking about that before, man. So just
Yeah.
glad the UFL even consider that.
I think it's a good rule. And yes, I absolutely think that not only should they adopt it, but the college should adopt it as well. Because you might
Yep.
as well get to practicing that if that's what's going to be once you get to the league.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I'm interested to see how that works out for them this year. Also, one last thing. What was it? Give me a second. Because I had it in my head and I forgot it just that quick. Oh, yeah, we got to talk about the WNBA real quick, y'all.
Yes, sir. About that whole, collective bargaining agreement. Hey, you with me, brother? Are you still there, E? We having problems right now with Eric. Hopefully he'll chime in.
All right, one more time. WNBA don't want me to talk about this apparently. They're trying to get a deal together for this year. They have given them the deadline of March 10th. They said if we don't get a deal by March 10th, the league is in jeopardy for the season.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I'd be surprised if it do.
I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Today is the 25th of February. If we don't have no deal by Thursday next week, I don't think we getting one.
No.
And that's unfortunate because, as you know, it's gonna be a pretty good draft this year. The question of the day is what happens next?
You
Because
know,
there's options.
a lot of options.
They're already working it out with Unrivaled League to say, okay, ain't no year this year, that's fine. We'll do an extra Unrivaled League. And we'll do it during the season while baseball and all that is going on. Now, wouldn't that
It's
be
been good
nice?
this year. It's been some good unrivals, man.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Kelly,
Right around the time of the NBA Finals, we got that Unrivaled going on to go up against baseball.
yeah, it'd definitely be worth it, man. Because my girl Kelsey Gray has been showing why she's her. Damn, it's been a good one-on-one tournament. There's been a few people who got embarrassed who I thought wasn't gonna get embarrassed, like my girl Courtney Wills got embarrassed. Natasha Hyman got embarrassed. So yeah, it's a
Yeah, it was a bad turning for the stud buds, no doubt.
it's a humbling situation. But I thought our girl was gonna get embarrassed at one point, but Chelsea Gray was like, "Nah, y'all ain't gonna embarrass me on this
But
big
see, and
game."
it's sad because the fact that you're using that terminology, I think that is why we cannot get the men to agree to do it in the NBA.
Embarrassment, yeah.
Yeah,
Like say for
their
instance,
ego would not allow that to happen. Even
say for
though, think about it, if they putting up 500K for the women, imagine what type of money they'll put up to see the men do that.
like
If the
seeing
winner get like 10 million, I'm sorry, I got to see what I got.
think about it though. Say for instance, like if you have a Victor versus Durant and Durant get embarrassed, that's what I'm thinking it is. Like you said, it's more about the egos with the men than anything.
I think they can offset that ego ish with this.
Because
If
if the
everybody in
loser
the tournament automatically get 500K just for being in that boy, and the winner get 10 mil, yeah, you'll do it.
Because if the
You'll
runner-up
do
get
it.
5 mil or something like
And then
that,
you can make it a real great social media event by saying, okay, not only does the winner get 10 mil, but then they get Additional 10 mil to donate to the charities of their choice.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome.
That'd definitely start something right there and get
And I
something
think that'd
started.
be better than anything they doing in that damn All-Star game right now. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I definitely. And the only one thing I was thankful about is my boy's still coming off of his Achilles injury, but Dame Lillard, but to see him pull it off, man, that was actually amazing because I think Steph was feeling some kind of way, and he definitely will re-enter that contest. I wouldn't be surprised if Clay even get back in it. So yeah, the competition is really heavy, but like with that dunk contest, I didn't watch it and wasn't even trying to. None of that stuff was good, man. So yeah, they have to definitely do better.
Yep, shout out to Clay Thompson and his future baby mama, Meg the Stallion.
I thought you was talking about Shirley from What's Happening. I seen that picture going around with her, man.
Yeah, y'all can look that one up. But okay, that's all I got. Hugh, go ahead and do your thing, bro.
All right, y'all already know what time it is, man. We appreciate y'all for all the love. And I would just like to say y'all can catch me at Hoovy on Instagram, WHOVOOVI. We put a lot of our product and we put a lot of our brand and advertising, man, and getting like little short flicks and putting up there for you guys and for your entertainment. We appreciate y'all for all the likes. And Sports Guru to you is basically where I put the breaking news. And I put a lot of stuff as far as the scores and things of going around all the major leagues. I would like to say chime in to you guys once because there's going to be some wheeling and dealing coming up pretty soon. We know March 9th is going to be the physical year of the free agency, but I'll get into that a little bit more once that time come around. And Hugh.Lee6 is my TikTok page where I put sports reels, highlights, and anything. There's everything. And I'd like to say thank you for the Nighthawk Network, ebook, and everybody who's a part of this. And addition to T Crew, y'all know who y'all are. And my man's Coach V. And my family who show love and friends, of course, who hit me up on the regular and keep me grounded and continue to give me these good ideas. Even
Absolutely.
though we ashamed of ourselves too, man. Rest in peace to our homegirl, Kara Braxton, man.
Yeah.
She's one of the women who impacted the WNBA with the Detroit Shock, man. She's a two-time champion. And if hear about her passing, broke my heart, man. And I sent you the picture because I wanted you to. I kind of figured you knew, but we've been both kind of busy, man, and we didn't get a chance to really slide that in like that, man. But before we left, we definitely wanted to say thank you for everything you've done for us, the WNBA, and we wanted to give her flowers.
Absolutely. Because keep in mind, Kara Braxton was on those championship Detroit Shocks team. But also remember, she comes from Michigan, from Jackson, Michigan to be exact. And, it hits different when you grow up in a certain place and then you go on to be a champion in that place. It kind of gives you a higher reverence than other people would have that are just players that played on that team. So that's why she was a lot of people's favorite player because she was the one person on that Detroit Shock team that was actually from the Detroit area. So definitely remember her for that. And she's definitely one of the better players on that Shock team as well. So remember her for that as well. And definitely she will be thought of and missed. And hopefully they will honor her some type of way when the time comes when Detroit has its team. Why they haven't just come out and said that they're going to be the Shot, I don't know. I definitely would like for them to retain that name once again.
Absolutely.
But if not, hopefully they come up with something good. But also in a non-sports related issue, because you and I both are Wu-Tang fans, I definitely want to send a rest in power to
Oh yeah,
Power of the
power.
Wu-Tang Clan. For those of you who know the story of Wu-Tang, you know that Power was one of the people
Founding fathers. Yeah.
involved behind the scenes that made Wu-Tang what it was.
Wu Wear and everything he did to contribute, man. It wouldn't be no Wu Tang without Power and Divine Diggs getting together and doing everything that they did for that group, man. Yeah, I'm definitely one of the ones who shouldn't be talking. I definitely should have brought that to the forefront as well. So yeah, appreciate that. And yeah, man, another person we lost too, man. Remember I was talking to you about that today. We want to know because we're gonna do two Unks Talking TV next week Thursday. We're not gonna do it this Thursday. We needed
Right.
people to rest. But at the same time, we want to know if you guys would be interested in talking about the Revenge of the Nerds and kind of having a flashback on that as well, because we lost the boy Robert Carradine today too. Lewis from the Revenge of the Nerds, man, that kind of hit hard, man, because you know that was one of my favorite movies all time. E.
Right, of course, that is definitely one of the 80, 90 cult classics that definitely a lot of people know. I mean, if you think about some of the other college movies that came, they were kind of loosely based on Revenge of the Nerds. When you think about the remember,
Neighbors,
you know, the Rodney Dangerfield movie, that
yeah,
movie,
Summer School,
even
no,
movies like even movies like Class Act was kind of loosely based on that. So you know. So absolutely, definitely want to try to get in that. And then also we want to know, because of course we're talking about Martin next week when we come back on for Two Unstalking TV. But after that, we want to know, what do you guys think? Should we go with the next thing being talk about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and of course Bel-Air, got to talk about the spinoff, or
mm-hmm.
should we go ahead and get into our tribute to blaxploitation films? We want to know y'all opinion on that.
Yeah, that's definitely something we wanted to put in consideration. Glad you remembered that, E.
Yep. So, you know, if you're in the comments, please let us know what you think, and we will go from there. But that being said, great show, Hugh. Nice flow. Talked about a lot in a little bit of time. Awesome. So, you know, I'm about to go ahead and call it a night. Appreciate y'all as always. Shout out to everybody. Miss Gigo and Queen Gemini and Coach B, and of course all our affiliates in the Nighthawk Network, my cousin Dr. Marla, Coach Pastor Sean, and of course our guys and girls at Dish and T, Aunt Nikki, Big Meech, and Big Red. So until next time, y'all, be blessed, don't stress, and remember, when all else fail, let the good Lord do the rest, because I promise you He's working. If He was not, we would not be here right now, literally.
Absolutely.
Yep. Till next week, y'all. Throwing up the fingers, and we out.